Hey, what's up everybody? AJWritesCrypto here, and welcome to the price prediction department. For today's price prediction department, by a high level of demand, I am going to cover Quant. First of all, I have to say, Quant was just trending on Twitter yesterday. I am very impressed with the community as a whole. I do personally hold a little bit of Quant myself. First of all, I just want to send out a sincere thank you to all the positive feedback I've received for this segment of the show. I have so many people reaching out to me like, oh, cover this coin, cover that coin. And listen, I hear you. I got you. I have a list this long of all the coins I'm going to cover, but still let me know in the comments what you want to hear. And whatever coin shows up the most is the one I'm going to cover on the next episode. At the end of this video, I am going to give some of my Quant away to people on Twitter who accurately guessed my price prediction. So stay tuned for that. So let's jump into my Quant price prediction. Quant, with the ticker QNT, is the coin for the Quant network, which was launched back in 2018. The Quant network consists of the Overledger operating system, multi-chain apps, the Overledger network, the Overledger network marketplace, the treasury, and the Quant token, which we're going to dive into today. I'm not going to dive too far under the hood with Quant, but I do want to say that the Overledger operating system is like the beating heart for Quant. So when you think about Quant, I really don't want you to think about it as a blockchain, because technically it's not a blockchain, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work with blockchains. Basically how I see it, if cities on a map were all other blockchains, right? Quant is like the highway and the road between all of those other blockchains. Quant is the king of interoperability, and that is why this coin is in such high demand. According to the Quant website, Overledger is the world's first single API gateway providing legacy systems with access to all blockchain networks. Basically, how the Overledger operating system works is that it sits on top of existing blockchains, and it doesn't just sit on top of blockchains, it can sit on top of other legacy technologies, which is why Quant will be used in things such as like the cross-border payment system. It will be used in the future of CBDCs and stuff like that. There are some people in crypto that don't really like the ethos of Quant that much, because Quant is working hand in hand with governments such as the Bank of England to put together CBDCs for the future. So for all you anti-CBDC crypto fans out there, this isn't exactly the project for you. The way I see it, I don't discriminate against charts. If a chart has profitability, regardless of what it is connected to, it doesn't matter to me. I will get into a project if I know it's going to be profitable. There is a fine line of morality there. Love it or hate it, but that's how I operate. I am in this game, I am in this trading game to make money, and I'm sure most of you out there are as well. So basically how it works is that without Quant, you can't connect to the Quant network. And if you want to use the Overledger operating system, you have to be connected to the Quant network, and that's where developers can make multi-chain apps, also known as MApps. When I think about Quant, I think about Gilbert Verdian and all of the utilities that Quant has in the real world. First of all, Quant's founder and CEO, Gilbert Verdian, has an excellent track record. It's actually impressive when you look at all of his former roles in jobs that he had. This guy worked at BP for digital security. He worked as a security lead at the Ministry of Justice in the UK. He was a chief information security officer for Vocalink, which is a MasterCard company. He worked in cybersecurity at the Bank of England. He worked at the Secure Payment Task Force at the Federal Reserve. And he is also a founder of the ISO standard TC307. And that standard TC307 is now used in over 60 countries to help guide blockchain development. This guy is the real deal. So basically, we're looking at a guy that has over 20 years of experience in the cybersecurity industry. What made him want to create Quant and the Overledger system is that he used to work in healthcare. And in healthcare, some patients have different files in different hospitals, and there's all this different data all over the place. And interoperability kind of helps, connect all of those pathways together. And then he realized how much of a utility that would be to apply it to blockchain technology. And that's exactly what he did. And when you look at all the things Quant is capable of, it really gets me thinking. I mean, the real world utility for Quant includes cross-border payment systems, supply chain, CBDCs, regulatory compliance, digital identity management, the Internet of Things connectivity, DeFi, and not to mention government and public sector applications. And on top of it all is what Quant can do for enterprise adoption. Yes, retail can get you pretty far in crypto, but it's going to be the enterprises that really drive mass adoption in crypto in the future, and Quant is very much involved in this equation. Obviously, Quant has a plethora of important partnerships, but I just want to talk about two in particular. The first one that stands out to me is SciaNet and SciaChain. And these are existing financial infrastructures that already have access to over 570 other banks and financial institutions. And since they're partnered with Quant, they have access to the Overledger, which unlocks that interoperability that connects them to so many other, distributed ledgers, other blockchains, other banks. It's not just about communication between blockchains. It's about communication with everything. And the other partnership, and in my opinion, the more impressive one, is with Hyperledger. Hyperledger is an open source project focused on developing enterprise-grade blockchain frameworks, tools, and libraries. Some of you may know that it's hosted by the Linux Foundation. Another thing you might not know is that half of the Fortune Blockchain 50 companies use Hyperledger. It's really just impressive when you look at the list of all of the companies that use Hyperledger. If you can't already tell, I'm pretty bullish on Quant. And I could sit here for hours and talk about how it works and all the partnerships and how they all work together, but I feel like I gave you a pretty good rundown. Now, let's get to the price prediction. Quant is currently priced right around $100. It hit its all-time high in September 11, 2021 at about $428. Other coins are super difficult to do price predictions on because their circulating supply is sort of a moving target. Coins like Doge, for instance, Doge prints 14 million new coins every day. So you kind of have to do that extra math and see how hard the market cap has to catch up to its inflating supply. Quant is a relief for doing price predictions on because it has a fixed supply of tokens at around 14.8 million. Notice I said million, not billion. This is less than Bitcoin. If you think about Bitcoin, it has a little over 19 billion coins in its supply and how high that price could go. And you think to yourself, Quant has less coins than Bitcoin. I kind of really start to get excited on what's possible for Quant's price action in the future. Like I said, the max supply is 14.8 million, but the circulating supply is a little over 12 million. So there's a little over 2 million coins that are unaccounted for. So when are those coins going to enter the supply? The truth is, it's hard to tell. Because if you go back on a snapshot to see how many coins were in the supply at the time in, say, February of 2020, it says Quant has a little over 12 million tokens. And then if you look at a snapshot of just last week, it says Quant has the same amount of tokens. No tokens came out, no tokens came in. It's gridlocked at that exact number. But there's still 2 million more coins left in its max supply. It took me a little bit of digging to find this, but Altcoin Buzz says that those other 2 million coins are actually held by the company. They are also unlocked, which means that they could be sold at any time. So keep that in mind, but at the same time, 81% of the tokens are already in its supply, and there's only 2 million more to go. And even if those 2 million more are added in, we're still 5 million less than Bitcoin's supply right now. So the supply is super bullish for Quant. There's other things I like more about Quant than other tokens as well. If you look at a coin like Matic, and you realize that the top 100 holders that hold Matic hold 85.8% of the supply. That doesn't really feel the best when you buy a coin and you know the top 100 holders hold most of the supply. But when you look at a coin like Quant, the top 100 holders only hold 37.8 of the supply. So Quant is much more friendly in terms of how many whales are holding at the top, and it's also more friendly because it has a very, very small supply, which means that the price for this coin, which is only at $100, could go absolutely to the moon. Think about it like this. We've established that Bitcoin has a larger supply than Quant, right? So if Quant had Bitcoin's market cap of 519 billion, one Quant would be worth $43,000. Not bad for a coin that's only $100. You know me, I like to be realistic. I like to do moon math, but I don't like to do this insane, crazy expectation moon math. I want to keep it realistic to see what we could actually do in the coming bull run with Quant. So remember, the equation for price predictions is market cap divided by circulating supply. So we established the supply, which has been the same for years, actually was the same supply for the last bull run. So like I said, when Quant hit its all-time high of $428, its market cap was a little bit over $4.8 billion at the time. Since the supply isn't changing, the only thing that is going to change for the coming bull run is the numerator, the market cap. How high can Quant's market cap go? If Quant had a $10 billion market cap, it would equal out to about $828 per Quant. If we 3x the previous market cap from the last all-time high, that would be about $13.8 billion in market cap, and that would give us about an $1,150 Quant. And since it's at $100, going to 1,000 is a 10x. But to be completely honest with you, when I think about all of the utility with this coin, how it's going to change the game for the global cross-border payment system. It's working with the Bank of England to make a CBD. It is the road that is connecting the dots of all the other blockchains in existence. This coin could change the game. So for this price prediction is going to be one of my more bullish price predictions out of all of them I will probably ever do. I might be shooting for the stars just a little bit on this one. So for my official price prediction for the top of the next bull run for Quant, I am thinking somewhere between $1,500 and $1,650, where the latter is a market cap of $19.9 billion. And like I said, with this coin and how well the supply works with it, this coin could go much higher than that. I'm just trying to be somewhat realistic. But remember, if Quant had Bitcoin's market cap, we're looking at a $43,000 coin. It's absolutely ridiculous. So boom, there you go. First of all, I'd like to thank the community members of Quant on Twitter that helped me out with some questions I had for this video. To give them a shout out, their names are at SanNL11 and at the Miles Braun. Thank you guys for your help. I really appreciate it. And also, SanNL11 has some really interesting threads on Quant if you want to read them on your own time. Also, on my Twitter at AJWritesCrypto, I said that I would do a giveaway for those who correctly guessed my Quant price prediction. No one guessed it exactly, but these three people came close. At RK Limis, Hardflow Coins, and Getting Hangry. And Getting Hangry said 1650 was conservative. So if you are one of those three people, shoot me a DM and I will shoot you over some Quant. My name is AJWritesCrypto. Let me know in the comments what coins you want to see on a future price prediction department, and have yourself a great rest of your weekend.